How's it going, critter people? I hope you all are doing well. Today we're looking at a website I came across a little while back when someone was asking if I could look up trainers in their area. They were out of state, and I was looking up some kind of trainers and the little, reading in between the lines of what these trainers claim, that they're all positive and this and that, but then they use like slip leads or prong collars or shock collars or whatever. They use corrections and nonsense. And so I came across this website where this person claims that 9 e-collar or shock collar training myths have been busted. They haven't been busted. They've been busted by this person. This person is just outright lying to you or trying to twist the truth into some really obscene manner to pull the wool over your eyes like they've pulled over their own eyes. So I'm just going to go over it. It's called Long Haul Trekkers. If you like this person, this person, go support them. If you don't, then you don't have to support me over them by any means. I'm just reading what they're saying, and I'm trying to clear up the confusion. So they already have their dog with 3 collars on. We have a shock collar. We have a nice wide flat buckle collar, which is really all they need. And they have another collar there, which could very well be another shock collar or bark collar or whatever. I don't know. They have wrinkles around their mouth, stress tongue. They could be tired, but that kind of wrinkle around the mouth is not a happy dog. So, just the first line here, there's a whole bunch of ads, whatever. Like many, I once believed that e-collar training was cruel. Well, if you once believed it, you should still believe it. It is cruel and unnecessary. I thought positive reinforcement was the only right way to train a dog until I had Lila. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about what is best for the dog, being humane, and that it's entirely unnecessary because you can accomplish just about anything without using pain or force or fear to train, especially a dog. They're so easy to work with. As much as I learned and worked with her, she just wasn't as responsive to the training as I needed her to be. So this person needs their dog to fit a certain mold for them. And you know what? You don't get that. You have to conform to your dog. Or have a different dog. Rehome your dog. Your dog can't, your animal, just because you have them, cannot fit every form you need them to be. Even parents. Sometimes there's things that we need from them, or family members, or friends, or people that we care about. There's things we need from them they cannot give us. And we have to accept that and get that from ourselves or from another source. So like your dog, if they cannot be as responsive to training as you need her to be, what is that, off leash and going and hiking with you? That's just nonsense. I don't know what the reason is that you needed her to be so trained or in a specific way. But you need to train. You were not there when she needed you to conform to what kind of training she needed or what kind of lifestyle she needed. Not so much training. Positive reinforcement works, people. So does this. So does the e-collar training, but it's just not necessary. They say there are a lot of myths and assumptions out there about e-collars, and many of the claims and beliefs simply are not true. Says who? Says you. That anybody can make a website. Anybody can say this. I can say that the sky is in fact made of red bologna, and it's not blue. And if you believe anything otherwise, then it's just simply not true. Where's the base of your facts? This post breaks down those myths and explains the truth behind proper use of an e-collar. So they were just brainwashed by somebody who used them, blah, blah, blah. Okay. How they work. Stimulation interrupts the dog's thought process through an unpleasant but not painful sensation. They cannot say that. No human can say that it's not painful. You can put it on for the dog. You can't say that it's not painful. I've had it on myself, high and tight. I've had multiple types where it has the rubber covers. It has just the titanium, the metal covers. There's been 2 prongs. There's been 4 prongs. And it's gone up to 100. And it's gone up to 50. And it's gone up to a whole number of levels. And it is painful. Okay? By the point it gets to 14, 15, 16 on a regular one, it's painful. By the time it gets to 7 on a mini educator, I can feel it. And it's like a pin or a pen just pressing into your skin, into the muscle. When it hits 100, it feels like someone took my muscles and ripped them out of my neck. It's very uncomfortable. It's painful. And yes, it's unpleasant. But a human cannot say it's not painful, because then how would it work? At the very least, it causes discomfort. But in order to get your dog off of, chasing rabbits, as they claim later in the article, they bump it up to 30. It has to be painful to stop that dog's drive to go after the rabbit or whatever it is it's chasing. As I will mention several times in this article, stimulation used negative reinforcement to teach the dog. Okay. As I will mention several times in this article, stimulation used negative reinforcement to teach the dog command they already know. So, command they already know, and it should be a cue. So the fact that you use command and you say that they already know it and they're not doing it says everything I need to know about you. Is that you didn't take the time, you couldn't see that your dog didn't actually know the cue in every situation you wanted them to, and you wanted a speedy, quick thing, or you wanted to believe the dog was being stubborn, and so you gave up, and you wanted to go the quick route and the easy route, or you took it personally, and you wanted to force your dog using a shock collar, or an e-collar, electric collar, whatever you want to call it. With proper conditioning, the dog learns how to stop the sensation by responding correctly to a command. So the dog, why would they want to stop the sensation? So you're forcing your dog to stop the pain by responding, according to you, correctly to a command. So you are forcing your dog. Don't give me this baloney. They can also be used to deter undesirable behaviors like digging, countersurfing, jumping, and more. Of course it can, because it's pain. So can smacking a dog with a rolled up newspaper. So can punching a dog. So can throwing a can full of rocks at them. Don't do any of that. I don't recommend anyone do any of that. But it doesn't mean it's necessary. You can also use positive reinforcement to stop a dog from digging, countersurfing, jumping, and more. If your dog is digging, they need more exercise or mental stimulation. Use a dog puzzle or a Kong wobbler, or God forbid, train them and really proof them on the behavior. Countersurfing. All that can be taught to you. Jumping. In this instance, your dog learns to associate the unpleasant feeling with its own behavior. So they're trying to put the accountability on the dog instead of the human that put the dog in the situation, didn't exercise them enough, or whatever it was that caused the dog to want to dig or countersurf or jump in the first place. So, lazy human. Think of the e-collar as an extension of the leash. That's what they all say. But it's not an extension of the leash. The dog knows it's not. Just as your dog feels a tug on their collar when they reach the end of the leash. Okay, well, I don't teach my dog to just clothesline themselves, which tells me a little bit maybe about how you train, that you tried force, you tried popping, and that wasn't enough, so you move up to the e-collar, so you can really crank it up. The e-collar is a sort of tap on their shoulder, but it's not, because this is not on this dog's shoulder. This is on this dog's throat, on their neck, by their sensitive nerves, and it's not a tap. It is using electric stimulation. So, blind leading the blind. This person gave up and they're trying to tell you whatever they can so that they don't have to feel guilty about them hurting their dog, because nobody wants to believe they're hurting their dog. And so they write up this whole article putting a picture of their dog that you think is going to be happy. This dog could very well be happy, but it doesn't mean it's necessary. It doesn't mean that this dog doesn't need the collar. The human does. Only it does not damage to the larynx or spinal cord like a jerk of the collar can. Well, that's why you teach your dog, one, to be able to walk on a collar and a harness appropriately. So you were probably a dummy and relied on letting your dog get to the end of the leash and pop and pop and pop, and it caused damage, and then you couldn't move on. So then you had to get the shock collar, because you can't realize and put two and two together that you don't need this. So, okay, so this is, the dog has to pay because of your failure. Okay. And then you want to try and turn things around and claim that, oh, these are myths and they're not true, and okay. E-collars for dogs, they do. Used incorrectly, yes, they can hurt dogs. And used correctly, they hurt dogs. And they say, so can a flat collar, so can your hand, so can a leash. That is just absolute nonsense. Of course, anything can hurt your dog. I mean, I can probably chuck this lip balm at an animal hard enough and I can cause some kind of damage. But that is not the purpose of this Blistex lip balm. Okay? The purpose of the e-collar, it was made to cause pain. Why do you think it goes up from 0 to 100, or in some cases 120? They try to compare it to a kitchen knife that, like, you can use it to cut up your lunch meat, or you can kill someone with it. That is the stupidest comparison I've ever seen. And no, it's not safer and for them to have freedom by being on the e-collar. It's not. It's actually breaking the law, because you need a regular leash law, because those dogs don't listen anyway, even when they're on an e-collar. It causes them to run away. When people do run away, or when dogs do run away, people crank it up so they can hear their dog yelp so they can find them. I'm not saying this person does that, but of course you can call them off anything with the e-collar, because you're shocking the shit out of them and causing a lot of pain. They say right here, Sitka's working level ranges from 4 to 10. It's probably a lot below that, but you're just too blind and stupid to know that. And low distraction zones. So you still need it in low distraction zones because you can't get off of it. If I have to call him off something especially exciting, I might have to dial it up to 30. Wow. That shows your ignorance. What this means is that I can give Sitka more freedom when we hike and trail and run with full confidence that he will obey commands. So that means that you're rude to all the other hikers because you think that you're so special that you're entitled to your dog running free, which is why you need the shock collar, because you couldn't teach them to run on a long line or be with you off leash or on a long line because you're lazy and because it's too much work for you. So you get a shock collar. And then you say that it gives him more freedom, which could get him in more trouble. Nobody cares about your dog's freedom. We all have leashes. We all follow leash laws for a reason. You were being rude. And I guarantee you, if you came up to me with your off-leash dog and it started a problem with my leashed dog, you get a mouthful or you get an earful. They are confident he will obey commands. Tells me everything I need to know. I don't believe they ever used positive reinforcement. Or if they did, they probably weren't even using it, but they claimed they were. It's for lazy people. Yep, you're absolutely right. It is for lazy people. They say, so are collars, leashes, harnesses, all these gentle leader and food. Collars, leashes, and harnesses are not for lazy people. It is so we can have control of an animal in a human world. It is just for safety. Collars for identification tags. Leashes so we can have a connection to the dog to keep them. It's like, how do you don't just go out into the world, starting a baby, you keep them inside 24/7 till they're fully grown, then just let them out in the world. It takes time to train them to be able to act safely in the human world. That is just, this person is just a moron. Efficiency does not equal laziness. No, it does. And it's not about efficiency. It's about laziness and ego. Just ridiculous. These poor dogs. It goes the extra step, whatever. Myth 3. They cause confusion. They do cause confusion in dogs. They're only used to punish dogs. I mean, the dog sees it that way. It doesn't matter if you see it that way or not. This poor dog does not look happy. Look at that face. And they're wearing the damn thing on them. The remote. It's not science-based. They admit that it's not science-based. Science can find out that it is cruel and unnecessary. That's why it's banned in other countries. So there's more myths to this. If you want to check out the website, if you want to support this person, go ahead. I mean, I'm getting too much into a tizzy, but I just saw this and I was just like, this is just ridiculous. But anybody can make a website. Anybody can claim whatever they want. Doesn't make it true. So let me know what you thought of this video on this website. The title of it is thelonghaultrekkers.com, talking about e-collar myths. So this was just my opinion on it. They have a whole shop, they have gear, they have adventures on blogs, so follow them if you want to. I don't care. It's just they talk about it. They're busting myths, and they're not at all. They're literally just lying to you. Whether they mean to or not, they're just spreading more misinformation. Because they're biased. Because no one wants to believe using an e-collar hurts their dog, so. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. I hope you all are doing well. Go give your little critters some kind of loving for me. Say howdy do. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.